Bringing in the one and only Mike Wilbon right here with me right now. Let's get right to it, Wilbon. What do you see as the primary problem with Luka and the Dallas Mavericks thus far this season?
Well, I don't see a problem at all with Luka, Stephen A. I see a problem with the Mavericks. They're not good enough. People need to slow their roll. I mean, I understand that the Mavericks were probably, if we believe the reporting done, much of it right here on our network, they were looking for Giannis maybe next year when they thought he was going to be a free agent. So did some other teams like Miami. But once he took himself off the market, there was nowhere else for them to go. Where was Dallas going to go to get better? Their roster is not improved right now. They got Porzingis, they got Tim Hardaway Jr. Those are pieces you want to keep. Those guys are not just serviceable, they're assets.
Hold on.
But they got to get better, Stephen A. They don't have good enough players around, and Porzingis is right there. They don't have good enough players around Luka for him to be great, leading them to anything in the Western
I'll give you credit where it's due, Mike Wilbon, in terms of I don't think they should have lost Seth Curry. They shouldn't have traded him. He shoot 50% from the field and from three-point range for the Philadelphia 76ers. But Luka is shooting 31% from threes. He can at least shoot and make some more three-point shots. Are you willing to admit that, Mike Wilbon? You seem in a very, very generous mood this evening.
That's not going to make him MVP, Stephen A. If he goes up to 38%, the Mavericks would be in what, 11th place instead of 13th? He is not the MVP. And I think a little birdie told you something about that. We're going to hear about that some more soon.
Right.
And they are not a contender, not a serious contender, not yet. They'll get there. You know Mark Cuban is aggressive, and when he sees an opening, he'll explode through it to make that team better. But that's not going to happen before the break in all likelihood, and they're not a serious contender this season.
You know, lucky for you, I'm not finished for you, and it's not lucky for you because I'm not finished with you yet. We'll get back to Luka a little bit later. But in terms of Trae Young, do you think that he can be the lead player on a team that goes deep into the playoffs in your estimation? He looks pretty impressive.
You mean a number one guy?
The man.
Not really, Stephen A. Stephen A. He's like Colin Sexton and De'Aaron Fox, and that group of guys, they are tremendous players, period, okay? But this is a league of wings now. We know that from LeBron on down. This is a league of two-way wing players. Who was in the finals last year? LeBron and Jimmy Butler. Two great two-way players with some size and strength and heft to them. That is not what we should put on Trae Young. And we're not going to put that on Colin Sexton and De'Aaron Fox. As great as they are, I don't see those guys being a one on a serious contender soon.
Wilbon, don't go anywhere. We'll get back to you a little bit later. I got another issue to address involving the Dallas Mavericks yet again. They haven't been playing the national anthem before home games this season, even Monday, when some fans were in the building. Today, the NBA responded saying the anthem will be played before each game by all teams. Here's Mavs owner Mark Cuban today on The Jump with Rachel Nichols.
Listening to the community, there were quite a few people that voiced their concerns or really their fears that the national anthem did not fully represent them, that their voices were not being heard. We didn't make any decision to never play the national anthem. That wasn't the case at all. We didn't cancel the national anthem, but there was never any final decision that had made that we would not play the anthem. The real issue is how do you express the voices of those who feel the anthem doesn't represent them or causes them consternation?
We now welcome in the ultimate insider, the one and only Adrian Wojnarowski is with us right now. Woj, what was the thinking behind the league statement released today that all teams would still play the national anthem before games?
Stephen A., essentially the league's thinking was that they weren't going to let any one team or individual teams make a decision about playing the anthem before games in arenas, that it was going to be a league decision, and right now every team would continue to play it. Now, maybe it's a conversation to be had. Maybe it's a conversation that should be had, not just in the NBA, but in all of pro sports. But Adam Silver moved quickly today to shut this down, really stop this from becoming a bigger issue for the league in the short term. And essentially, he and Mark Cuban talked about this early in the year when there were no fans in the arena, and he gave teams the option to not play it if there wasn't anyone in there. But now that fans are back, that teams are going to have to play the anthem.
Gotcha. Switching to another hot topic of conversation right now about the league. What's the latest on the status of the All-Star game this season and the always popular slam dunk contest? What can you tell us about that, Woj?
Well, first of all, Stephen, that the league and the Players Association, they're going to have a formal deal here by the end of the week, have everything in place for that March 7th All-Star game in Atlanta. I was told today that as part of it, the slam dunk competition is moving in their talks. They're moving toward having it at halftime of that game. There's not going to be an All-Star Saturday night. They're going to do everything on Sunday so they can get the players in on Saturday, out Sunday night after the game, three-point contest, skills contest, but the slam dunk competition at halftime of the East-West game.
Woj, I like that idea. I appreciate that info. I appreciate that info. I like it at halftime. I really, really do. And Lord, the NBA is right. We don't need to be partying the night before and on a Saturday night in Atlanta. That is the right decision. Trust me. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.